This is happening way too often, isn't it? A new game gets announced, people get hyped about it, they finally see something cool that they want to play, and then social media finds out and now everything is a mess. Stellar Blade sequel got announced. I think it looks cool. I didn't see how anyone would find a way to spin this game in some way to bury it or have a problem, but it seems like if you enjoy this new game title or whatever, you're now a word I can't even use on YouTube even if I wanted to. You will find comments all over social media like this person who said, "I absolutely do not like the protagonist design in that Stellar Blade game. The actual world looks grimy and rad and full of great design work, but she, Eevee, is just an over-designed skin-tight plug suit with a baby face on an adult woman." And the comments below are just people agreeing with this take. Or this person here, who says that Asian game developers are never beating the allegations due to how this new character looks. So, like I said, this character's name is Eevee. She's going to be the main character of the next game. Originally, I thought this was going to be a prequel to Stellar Blade. Mostly because Eevee is walking around a city full of humans just going about their lives. If you actually played Stellar Blade, the original game's city hub is the last habitable spot for normal people on Earth pretty much. And it wasn't exactly very populated for obvious reasons that I won't get into. So seeing this new world that they're building, and it's just like full of people in every direction going to work even and more, it makes me believe that this game is likely hundreds of years in the future from when Stellar Blade originally takes place. It would be the only way this setting makes sense lore-wise, but I guess we'll see. And personally, my initial reaction to Eevee's design was, yeah, she looks cool. I really like her cloak that she wears and how it clashes with her white suit that she wears underneath. I also really like how the combat in the game looks. Like the idea that Eevee is this fist-punching operative with a big mechanical fist, like that is cool, man. I mean, yeah, okay, the game is called Stellar Blade, and she does technically have a blade that comes out of her elbow, but I'm sure Eevee also gets more weapons, so it's just going to be awesome to see. But if you wanted my initial thoughts on this, it's simple. I think the game looks cool. To be honest, I didn't really see the character as a child either. I just saw her as another Asian character design, and she's probably in her early 20s if I had to guess. I did see quite a few people disappointed that Eevee was the main character for the sequel because people still want to play as Eve, but I mean, for me anyways, I'm fine with it. It doesn't mean that Eve can't show up or be playable or anything. She probably will be, like, who are we kidding? But Eevee in my head, she's sort of like the Nero and Devil May Cry to Eve's Dante, if that makes sense. So personally, I have zero issues with any of this. I'm just happy that we're getting another Stellar Blade game, because the first one was, man, that game was awesome, man. Probably one of my favorite games of this generation, full stop. But saying that Asian developers can't beat the allegations, like, that's weird to me, because in terms of Asian game design, Eevee looks pretty normal to me. She looks like a youthful operative, which is probably what Shift Up was going for. Does Eve look older? I mean, yeah, I think body-wise, Eevee is clearly going more for the tomboy petite look, which, I mean, come on. That's an archetype that has existed in media for decades at this point. As this post says here, Eevee was inspired by Anita Battle Angel, and yeah, I can see that because it's really cool. Like I said, I like her design. She looks young, yeah, but there's a lot of people saying that she looks 10 years old, which to me, I gotta ask, have people just forgotten how Asian women are supposed to look? They do tend to look younger than other people, but that's not me making fun of them. It's just how Asian people are. I won't lie, the first shot of Eevee from the other side doesn't do her any favors. But once you get further into the trailer and you see her face, especially from the front and when she's fighting the Naytibas, I thought, yeah, no problem here. She looks cool. I think the haircut's fine. She looks cool when she fights. Yeah, I'll play the game for sure, totally. I mean, here's the pink-haired girl from Ace Combat's newest game. She looks young too, but again, I guess people could make the same claims against that character too, but I mean, even then, that character looks perfectly fine as well. And for example, here's Claire Redfield in the Code Veronica remake that was also unveiled. Yeah, Asian developers are just cooking like crazy over there, aren't they? They just keep making banger after banger character design. Like, no wonder the West can't keep up anymore. And here's a still shot of Eevee from the trailer, and yeah, I think she looks young, probably maybe 18 or 19, but a kid? No, sorry, I don't really think so. I think people kind of forget what kids look like sometimes, but I don't know how you can look at Eevee and go, yeah, that girl is 12 or something. But then again, to be honest, I wasn't even looking at Eevee when I first saw her in some suggestive way anyways. Not every female character, in my opinion, needs to be straight up, bait or something. Sometimes female characters can just go in the other direction of just being really cool and wicked looking. And that's sort of like how I view Eevee. I just find her design cool, sort of in the same way how I find Lightning from Final Fantasy 13 looking cool, you know what I mean? And her being petite, like whatever. If anything, there's plenty of women out there who are also petite. It's like saying any guy who's short is a boy now instead of a man. Well, no, that's not how that works. Just people have different sizes. It's not that deep. Especially near the end of the trailer where Eevee flies through the air and she comes crashing down and there's lightning everywhere. I mean, that's cool. Come on, that is cool. That looks sick. Like, that's what I want to see in games, okay? Just really wicked combat and stunning visuals that look like that. But I don't see her as a child. She just looks like a young anime hero girl who's, in this game to play, and that's cool. The fact that people are trying to tear this game down at all is just sort of nonsense to me. Again, in this shot here, where Eevee is looking over her shoulder, she looks maybe younger than she does in the rest of the trailer. But this is immediately rectified in this shot from that same trailer where she loses her cloak and sports the white outfit only. She definitely looks like early 20s, like totally normal to me. I also think, like usual, the Western people out here are trying to push their beliefs or ways of life onto a culture, this time South Korean, which couldn't be further from the truth. Asian people in general, as you likely know, they don't eat much processed food in their home countries, which does affect how you age. Koreans also especially have insanely good skincare routines. There's a reason why people in the West look to South Korea for things like makeup and how they do their beauty. There's a whole industry about it. It's because South Koreans are they're masters at that sort of stuff. And Eevee, to me, like, she exemplifies that standard perfectly. Plus, for example, here's Eve in the original Stellar Blade trailer, as you can see here. And can we agree that Eve, in the beginning of development there versus the actual product you got, it's obvious that the character design was not even finalized. Because Eve, I mean, she looks almost nothing like her in-game counterpart compared to what she looked like in the first trailer. Eevee could easily evolve too. It's not like the game is even finished. Shift Up even confirmed that this new game was in early development. And not only that, if this sequel is anything like the first game, Eevee, like Eve, will also have access to many different cosmetic options too. And if you played Stellar Blade, you would know how drastic you could change Eve's original outfit in-game if you wanted to, down to her hair, and even more options. I also saw this model's face being shared a lot online, with many people saying that this is who Eevee is apparently based on. I can't confirm that because I don't even know who this is, but I asked Google who this person is. Apparently their name is Lee Ji-yoon. I probably said that wrong. Anyways, who is like a singer who goes by IU. Is that how you pronounce it? I have no idea. Anyway, this Lee lady is 33 years old, yet when you look at her here in her Wikipedia page, Lee looks pretty youthful for 33, I gotta say. I mean, I'm 33, she looks a lot younger than I do. Now, would you call this Lee lady a child? I mean, no, she's 33, she's a grown woman. Is she maybe smaller and more petite than the typical American or Canadian woman? I mean, yeah, yes, but it doesn't make her any less of a human being. Then again, these same types have said bad things about Eve in Stellar Blade, right? Even back then, she was not covered enough or older. But as you can see here, Eve's face and body were also based on Shin Jae-eun, who, by the way, is 34 years old. Even when they found that out, these people still didn't accept it, right? Honestly, what this all feels like to me is that the reason why the typical types are mad at Stellar Blade and its sequel is because they know that they can't really do anything about it, right? Like, think about it. When Stellar Blade first got announced, all the websites began their smear campaigns. They tried to shame people into believing that no, you can't play Stellar Blade because we haven't given it our glowing praise or recommendation, right? Sites tried to shame the players, telling us you're just anti-woman or only seeing them as objects when it came to Stellar Blade. But then they dropped that demo for the game, and I remember downloading that demo and trying it for myself. And I came away from the Stellar Blade demo thinking like, whoa, dude, they cooked. This is fun, man. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, Eve looks good and she's cool and all, but I'm there because the gameplay is crisp. It's responsive. The music was awesome too. And I think once that game came out, a lot of these types, like I said, they kind of realized that, we can't really control the narrative around this because it's breaking containment, so to speak. And then what happened, right? It sold millions of copies. It did way better than these types wanted it to because people played the game and realized beyond the attractive female hero that Stellar Blade was not relying on just that to sell the game. It was also competent and fun. It had a lot going for it. And it's one of those rare games where the moment that I beat it, I immediately started New Game Plus because it was so much fun to play, which was honestly sick to do. And then it came to Steam, right? And look at the Steam charts here. Stellar Blade peaked at 192,000 players. If you don't know, that means a Stellar Blade, it outperformed every Sony first-party release on Steam except Helldivers 2. Because the first game was published by Sony. Either way, this was awesome, right? It did so well that even when it came to Steam, people also loved it. And still, a couple of thousand people are still playing it on Steam to this day. That's great. Honestly, if you haven't played Stellar Blade, you should guys. Like, it's really fun. Its combat is so good, dude. I do wish the game had more weapons, but like for what what it is right now, it's very fun. So I think what you're seeing with the sequel here with Eevee, it's kind of just history repeating itself. These people knew that they couldn't stop Shipped Up the first time. I mean, the first game sold something like 6 million units plus, if I remember correctly. So now they're looking at this sequel game and the positive side of the response to it, and they're going, oh, no, we're not doing this again. You're still not allowed. Stop liking this game. No, you can't do that. She's a kid. Look, she's a kid. These people, like I said, they tried to ruin Stellar Blade. It did not work. No way it works with this game either, okay? I mean, Shift Up proved that they're not just relying on visuals. They had the gameplay. They have everything else to back it up. It's a great game. And again, looking at Rain's gameplay, the way that Eevee bobs and weaves out of the enemy's attacks like a skilled boxer, that's cool, man. Again, Shift Up smart because I can see what they're doing. They probably looked at like, what are two things that people love these days? They love really cool female characters, especially ones from anime. So they probably went, okay, we're going to take Alita Battle Angel because that's already dope. And then we're going to go look at the female characters in video games. Who does everybody love and they can't get enough of? Oh, right, Tifa Lockhart in Final Fantasy VII. I mean, didn't they just announce Tifa's coming to Street Fighter? And you saw the response to that, right? It was great. Tifa's awesome. So yeah, please. So Shift Up probably went, all right, what if we mix Alita Battle Angel with Tifa Lockhart and we give our new hero the tomboy haircut and that smug, mysterious angle, and boom, you have Eevee. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is. And I gotta say, it works, man, because the moment I saw Eevee fight in that trailer, I was like, oh yeah, a whole game where I get to pretty much be Tifa Battle Angel, knocking freaks left and right with my mecha hand. Yeah, I'll pay whatever you want. Just give it to me. Thank you very much. And that's why they really don't seem to like this game, because Eevee is kind of nothing like what the West wants to push. Look at how the same people responded to Lao Fei in God of War compared to Eevee, right? Like this user who said this about Lao Fei. It's honestly exhausting how close-minded people are. And then they said this about Eevee. Eevee literally looks like a child. Why are people, whatever, over a character that looks 14 years old? Eve still looked young but could pass for 18-20. This is so different, yet there's so many weird comments. I don't know how to feel. Of course you don't know how to feel, because the collective hive mind that you get your opinions from haven't given you your orders yet, so that's not really surprising. It's still funny though, isn't it? The entire side that was rooting for Lao Fei and saying, you male gamers you don't want to play as women. And then here comes Eevee and we're like, that looks sick, dude. And the same types are now going, no, you can't like that. No, she's a female character, but she's not one that we okayed for, so you can't like it. Sorry, but we don't listen to you, okay? Eevee's cool. Shift Up is giving me my Alita Battle Angel video game where I get to channel Tifa Lockhart in every punch. They're getting my money. I don't make the rules. Plus, people are saying that Eevee doesn't use a sword, but if you notice in the trailer, she spawns a glowing cyber sword out of a robot gauntlet near the elbow. She's literally going to be able to Mai Tai elbow sword enemies into oblivion. This is like the coolest thing ever. Like, come on. But it's also what I find annoying, right? Like, there really shouldn't be a controversy about this at all. Like, everybody should be celebrating Stellar Blade 2. You wanted more female protagonists. Okay, you got one. And all the dudes are thinking that she's cool for the most part because she just oozes lethality. And now we're not supposed to like it. Like, what do you want from us? You want us to like women in games, but when we do, it's wrong. It's like typical modern woman nonsense brain patterns. Like, they don't even know what they want. I mean, maybe if Eevee looked like Deborah Wilson, as you can see here, those same women would be slapping their hands together until they went numb. But thank God am I glad that Eevee doesn't look like that. That is what I will say about that one. Also, I think a lot of the issues surrounding Eevee will be relieved either way when the game comes out. Because remember, the original game had a lot of different outfits and hairstyles and accessories that you could put on Eve. So really any complaint that you had with Eve, like her hair looks wrong on her, or you don't like her default outfit, fine, then just change it, like problem solved. And I'm sure the same is going to go for Eevee. That game's also going to have plenty of outfits and hairstyles and all of that. So if you don't like her default look, which I find hard to believe because she looks cool, well then just change it. Just give her something else to wear. Change her hair even. I mean, for example, right? Look at this side by side of Eevee with her normal hair versus if she had long hair. And instantly, in my opinion, the entire design changes when she has longer hair, doesn't it? Like, there you go. You think she looks too much like this or that? Cool. Change it then. Now your Eevee has long hair and a new outfit. And I guarantee you that alone, the complainers will see the outfit and hair options and immediately go, oh, okay, yeah, no, she's not a child in the end after all. You had one female content creator named Kaya who chimed in on all this. Here's what she said. Honestly, the constant discrimination against women who look younger or shorter, flatter or petite is gross and ironically, mostly comes from the people who tried to claim they were an ally for female main characters in video games with God of War. I've seen this happen for years with women of all races, but Asian women get it the worst, and at this point, it's starting to come off as just sugar-coated racism. If you see an adult Asian woman and think of kids, you are the creep. Yeah, pretty much that. Like I said, Asian women age differently to others. characters. An Asian woman in her 40s is going to look just as young as some other woman in like her early 30s or even her 20s. Don't hate the player, okay? Hate the game, as they say. It all comes down to genetics. What do you want me to do? I don't control it. You also had this guy named Jared, who's a Twitch streamer, I guess, where he basically just called anybody who likes Eevee as a creep. And then Jared locked down and protected his account because the backlash got too much for him. Oh, how could we? It's just sad though, because unironically, the same people who don't like Eevee would love it if Claire Redfield in Resident Evil, for example, looked like this on screen with purple lipstick. And the septum piercing and the added weight. I think it also comes down to that people who are ugly, they don't really want to see beauty in others. They kind of just want everybody to live in the mud with them. But on the other hand, you got guys like this dude here, who pulled out the mathematics of all things to prove that Eevee's anatomy perfectly aligns with the laws of math. And I mean, that's funny, by the way. I wonder if they did that position on purpose to prove a point. If not, then it's even funnier. But here's another post where Eevee is shown how she would look if she was made in the West. And I mean, this is out of line, but they're right. It's actually funny how the Western version of Eevee kind of looks almost exactly like Harding from Dragon Age Veilguard, which just makes that more funny. But again, I can't deny that there's no way that you would get an Eevee design from the West for the most part, because it's just different cultures. Here's another user putting Eevee up against a random 20-year-old South Korean girl they found on Pinterest. And yeah, it checks out. Because South Koreans they look younger than most people. Doesn't make it weird, it's just how they are. Eevee does not look 15 to me. She looks 20 at the earliest. Either way though, this is just, it's history repeating itself again. But the arguments these people have against why this can't exist, like they think they're getting stronger, but they're actually getting stranger and even less believable, like every time they try to speak out against stuff like this. The original Stellar Blade was controversial before most people even played the game, and that's where many of us just became frustrated by it. Because the game just seemed to be judged by standards that many other modern titles were never really facing either. It's like suddenly having an attractive protagonist became a controversy, right? And character design somehow became this political issue when it shouldn't be. And this is key. A lot of people who had no interest in the first place when it came to playing Stellar Blade were suddenly starting to spew their opinions about it, and that's really the core of it, because why would you listen to people who weren't going to buy your game anyways? Like, I have no idea. We don't like Eevee, okay? Even if they made Eevee look like a land whale with septum piercings and all of that, like these same people would still not buy the game, so why bother catering to them in the first place? You're going to win nothing by giving in. It's better to just never do anything they demand if possible. Like, look at how many games failed that were made for those sorts of people. Like, why would you want to become another one to just add to that pile? It just feels like at this point that people are searching for reasons to just be offended, which is why we need to draw a line in that sand, because there is a significant difference between criticizing a game and criticizing the physical appearance of a character or the people that are involved in creating that character. And what this conversation to me feels like is that it's very detached from the actual product itself. One of the stranger aspects of this debate also is how confidently people are just making assumptions based solely on appearance. People age differently, right? Everybody has different facial structures, genetics, skincare routines, the diets. Anyone who spent time watching film or television, gaming, entertainment from different parts of the world, you would know this. Many actors and models and public figures are routinely mistaken for being significantly younger or even older than they actually are. Like, that is not new. Yet with this sort of online discourse, it increasingly treats subjective impressions as being objective facts when they're not. And because of that, everything just becomes unfair, because people are not evaluating what actually exists. They're just evaluating assumptions. I just kind of want consistency, because it's definitely the case that different games are going to receive very different treatments based on who they're catering to. Look at Lords of the Fallen 2. Even when like Laufey was celebrated, but Eevee's being criticized endlessly, like that isn't fair. That's why it's just totally normal these days to just roll your eyes at these sorts of debates. Because not only is the criticism usually not legit, the consistency of it is never there either. If standards only appear when specific games become culturally controversial like this game has, people are going to begin questioning whether those standards are being applied fairly, which in this case, no, they are definitely not. In the end, guys, all we really want is cool games, okay? Can we agree on that one? We don't want to be lectured, yet these people are willing to make us all suffer because they can't and will not see the beauty in the world no matter what you do. Either way though, in my opinion though, like Eevee Eevee looks fine, okay? And even then, her design's not final. Just like Eve's, I'm sure this is also going to go through iterations. After all, the game, according to interviews that have come out, has only been in development for about 1 year, which is, not long for video games. So anything could happen. But if Shift Up wants another mega hit on their hands to the same level as the first Stellar Blade, it's probably going to be a good idea to cater to the people who actually wanted to buy your game in the first place, and not the Twitter Karens who were never going to buy your game anyways. But what do you think? Subscribe if you'd like to, and have a great day, everybody.